one God, for there is one God. And one mediator. Between God and man. Who do you think that is? You. I don't know. I ain't saying. But you ain't coming back unless you come for me. I know that.
What the Faith Temple Church is going on?
Tonight, former congregation members of Faith Temple Church claim Real Housewife star Mary Cosby is running a cult.
Mary's the pastor of Faith Temple Pentecostal Church. She is touted as one of the wealthiest housewives of Salt Lake City. She's quirky, funny.
I love her and I hate her.
She is reality television gold.
And she's married to her grandmother's husband. Thank you.
This was the reason that people were watching the show.
Mary.
You have this woman who married her step-grandfather, took over the church, and the church is being called a cult.
I cannot believe Miss Mary Cosby.
Is it a cult? Where was she getting all her money from?
There's obviously a scandal here, a big one.
It's time for people to know the truth,
so that the people can see for themselves who she is and what she's about.
Just was always a need for money.
They need $100,000. They need it by Thursday.
It's about manipulation. It's about control.
He has a spell on these people.
There was a fear of leaving.
You had to do what Mary and Robert said, or your salvation is at risk.
That's a big red flag. In mind control cults, power, money, and sex are the three universals.
They use the pulpit to torment you.
It was all in the premise of God, holiness and hell.
Isolation became more frequent. You can't talk to other members.
It's unbelievable, the pain.
They have no idea what she's capable of.
My whole body went numb from the neck down, and I heard something speak to me and say, it's a cult.
This photograph, it's fun and it's sad at the same time because I see so many relationships and so much history in these relationships. I see several people that are no longer members and some that are unfortunately still current members of the church.
The girl in the red dress, do you recognize her?
I absolutely recognize her. I wish I didn't. Mary Jefferson at that time. She was my girlfriend.
Get out.
At that time, yeah. We treated her like extended family coming from the church. But Mary was a bully. I remember Mary picking on certain girls, controlling them. Now, of course, when you're kids, like you see these things and you don't think much of it, but as an adult, you look back on this thing, she wasn't a nice person. If you want to understand her character, it's right there in front of your face. It's on national television.
Well, it's been all the talk of the town. We are so excited because this week is the premiere of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I think Salt Lake City is going to take it.
Oh, Salt Lake City for sure is going to be everybody's new favorite.
Cast. What a cast.
If you've never watched The Real Housewives of any franchise, it essentially follows the friendships of a group of fabulous socialite women in their respective cities. They're always beautiful and they're always rich. But what Salt Lake City did different, there was a religious aspect.
In Salt Lake City, there is a huge community of Mormons. But the show has an array of beliefs. You have Meredith Marks, who is Jewish. You have Jen Shaw, who converted from Mormonism to Islam. And you have Mary Cosby, who is a pastor of a Pentecostal church.
This is the truth. I believe in it. So let God be God.
We see Mary preaching on the show. She has authority. Her congregation loves her. she comes across as a legitimate pastor.
Mary was first portrayed on the show as very pretty, quirky. She says things that some people might find funny, others might say she's dumb.
According to reports, in the first season, Mary's touted as one of the wealthiest housewives of Salt Lake City, with an estimated net worth of about $5 million. Mary takes her castmate, Whitney, on a grand tour of her house. Her room and closets are overflowing with designer goods.
Welcome you to my little humble abode. I don't let anyone in, but...
My God.
I have a little bit of a shopping problem.
You have a closet and this?
Every closet in the house is full of my clothes.
I would be watching the show. I would be seeing the mansion. I would know about the house in Florida. I would know about the house in Vegas, the penthouse in New York. I would wonder, how are you affording all of it?
So Mary begins to introduce herself and her marriage to the audience. Mary explains that the reason why she is a pastor of Faith Temple is because of her grandmother, who essentially gave Mary the church and all of its businesses when she died.
Basically, my grandmother passed everything on to me, and literally, she wanted me to also marry her second husband, which was my step-grandfather.
This takes it to a whole new level. In some weird, effed up way, I've never heard of a step-grandfather marrying their step-granddaughter. Like, what the hell is going on?
It was kind of in my grandma's will for us to marry.
She said, if anything ever happens to me, Bobby, I want you to marry one of my girls because they'll look out for you.
We're blessed to this day because of it.
Watching the clip of Mary Cosby explaining her relationship with her husband, it's wild. Legitimately, no other Real Housewives franchise has started with scandal. Salt Lake City was the first one.
Lots to talk about today in the comments section. I want to know, what do you guys think about Mary, Martha, and this whole marrying her step-grandfather business? My reaction to it was, what? Who would go for grandma's, sloppy seconds?
Mary became a hot topic. She was gonna fire that got people saying, have you heard about Salt Lake City?
I just discovered The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That's new. Have you seen it yet?
No, I have not seen that. Is that...
Oh, boy.
We have to talk about Mary Cosby. Her whole backstory is very interesting.
She was 25, he was 45. The age difference alone is enough to scare the hell out of me.
Mary was born in 1972, which would make her 3 years old at the time Robert was coming into her life as her step-grandfather. Mary said she was 22 years old at the time of marrying Robert, and Robert is 20 years her senior.
Strange. That gives me creep vibes.
Mary even says herself that it's weird, it's a little bit taboo, but it's a blessing, and so it's just kind of something people have to move on from.
It's not my blood. It was a family situation choice that I knew was right. So they're coming at me like I'm incest and I'm gross and I'm marrying my grandfather, which sounds ridiculous, but I think, well, it does sound ridiculous, but I mean, it does sound ridiculous. It's my story.
The reality is, you married your grandpa, and that's it.
I think a lot of housewives don't understand, if you have skeletons in your closet, you better not join a reality TV show.
So we're just going to ignore the audio that leaked of Mary Cosby of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City berating her congregation. Listen.
Coming here trying to get me
I ain't preaching on y'all stand. I'm doing everything else. Y'all ain't loaded. Can't live being times. I got 4 sweet birthday cards. Don't stingy shit. No poor people.
This was somebody in the congregation who was obviously hurt, who has dealt with this before, or else they wouldn't have taken their phone out and recorded it.
I don't want no poor people around me. You're poor as hell. And if you ain't poor, you're stingy, so you're still poor. God said you was poor.
To hear this audio clip where she is ripping into people, you kind of go, wait, is that real? Like, which version of Mary is real?
My name is Denise Jefferson. Mary is my sister. I didn't know that my sister was capable of doing what she's doing. She's on this show telling them about God, and she's like, we'll let God be the judge.
For me, church is a place of a rescue, and it's a place where love should always fall.
She's a big hypocrite, and the world is eating it up. The bottom line is, I'm gonna tell you, she's always been a fraud, as far as I'm concerned. My earliest memories of Mary were basically very needy and sometimes in areas where it was not always good in the family. But I admired her because she had a nice spirit when she wanted to. I was the big sister, and I think that she kind of felt that respect for me. But I now understand that Mary being able to even marry our Gramps was not normal. And I feel like the reason it happened was because of who she is. You have to step out of yourself to make a decision like that and have an end goal. And I think that that's what happened.
You're poor as hell. And if you ain't poor, you're stingy, so you're still poor. God said you're poor.
That's the form of manipulation.
I don't know poor people around me.
There was a lot of chatter online that Mary was running a cult from Faith Temple.
She's a pastor. A pastor of a cult?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I think it might be a cult.
There's a side to Mary we haven't seen yet, people. She sounded like a real cult leader. This is not a good look.
After every season of Real Housewives, there is the reunion, and that is a moment where fans get to ask the Real Housewives themselves about questions during the season. The allegations were reaching a fever pitch, so much so that Andy had to bring it up on the reunion.
Are there rumors that your church is a cult?
Yes. It was peculiar that a pastor was being openly questioned on national television. It legitimized the rumors as now accusations that we're going to talk about. As an investigative journalist, I was very curious if it actually did fit the definition of a cult. Are there serious allegations of spiritual abuse, financial abuse, keeping people isolated? So I really wanted to explore that further because I was unsure if the show would really get to the bottom of it. When I first started looking into these allegations that Faith Temple was a cult, I tried to find former members. I spoke with nearly a dozen people. A lot of them laid out a series of accusations that had to deal with donating money to the church. It was a very intense process of draining resources from congregation members.
Wow.
They have the whole Faith Temple Pentecostal Church Youth Choir on hand to entertain.
Really putting a lot into it out there. How do you get the kids to stay with you?
Oh
How do you
my
work with
gosh.
them? The main thing is to keep their minds on God.
get God into anything, it becomes a success.
Wow. Wow. I can't even remember that day, but I'm in that video. I saw myself. It made me emotional because of my dad, my sister singing, and a lot of memories.
I led a lot of songs with the choir. I was the first child born to my parents in Faith Temple. There's myself, Rosalind, and then there's my brothers, Ernest and Michael. The story is that my father had pretty much given up on churches. My grandmother happened to come across Mary Cosby, who we all call Mama, and he liked what he saw, and from that point on, it was the Enochs and Faith Temple.
Mary, there's supposedly audio of you calling your congregation poor and stingy because they didn't give you gifts for your birthday.
That's
How do
not
we know
true.
that's not really you?
It is me.
Oh, it is you?
Yeah, it is me. And you know what? It was taken out of content.
Well, the last part of it is her lying. I was there when Mary complained about the 14 birthday cards. I was always there. I'm the organist. I gave this chick a card with $1,000 in it. Asked me if she said thank you.
Faith Temple under Robert and Mary Cosby. They created this thing called these heave offerings. They were gonna have them every 6 months. It started to increase over time. We could have just had a heave offering meeting, and then in a week or two, we're having another meeting where we're being told there's an emergency and they need 100,000. They need it by Thursday. The worst announcement you could hear when you walked into that church is, tell everybody don't leave, we need to have an emergency saints meeting. And you knew it was gonna be about money. We have these meetings after church. Robert would instruct ushers to stand at the doors. So you're just being barricaded in here. During this meeting, everyone put their name and their amount on the list. If you didn't have a certain amount, Robert would say, and that's all you have? I mean, there's nothing spiritual about that, right? To collect money, they use credit cards. In fact, I can recall texting my debit card number to one of the members that collected on the money so that he could enter that in manually. There were times that I would give $5,000. It was a lot. This money is getting bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. There were people cashing out 401ks, losing homes. It got to be a financial embarrassment for some.
I'm doing everything. I got a loan I'm trying to pay off in my 401k. If I pay it off, I can pull some more out and help. It was a lot of pressure.
Where's all this money going? What is it being used for?
In mind control cults, power, money, and sex are the three universals, and not always sex, but usually. That's a big red flag. My name is Dr. Stephen Hassan. I'm a cult expert, and I'm considered to be a world authority on cults and brainwashing. Within religious mind control cults, there's a lot of financial exploitation. We live in a world where we need money for food, for shelter, to buy clothing and everything else. And it's true that Judaism and Christianity and Islam talk about giving a percentage to help the community, but they don't talk about giving over everything you have. And when people find out that the leader is living a luxurious lifestyle, it's natural to feel angry and upset and feel exploited. Most people in cults, they have no clue what's actually happening behind the scenes. Good people can't imagine the level of evil.
The rumor is that your personal wealth is coming from somehow through the church.
Andy, my church couldn't possibly take care of me. When you've seen the size of my church, Meredith, you have too. There's no way I could.
And I guess it would stand to reason then that they would be quite upset watching the show, seeing you with all the labels and all that stuff. I mean,
yeah, if they thought that I was taking their money.
Right.
They know better. I'm a God-fearing woman. I would never do that.
I guess the next big question would be, if your lifestyle is not on the backs of the people who are supporting the church, what is it on the back of?
What do you do? Where do you work? Let's start there.
What affords Mary Cosby multiple homes, Chanel bags? This is a lifestyle that is very expensive. What's the truth?
People saying, wait, exactly what is going on with this church sets the stage for what we're about to see in season 2.
The ladies of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are back.
Who's the most bizarre housewife of all of them?
It's Mary Cosby, the cult.
Oh, yes, thank you. There it is.
Hello.
Mary Cosby, she runs an alleged cult, and she's married to her grandmother's husband.
What?
I love her and I hate her. She is reality television gold.
The reason that Mary Cosby is the villain that you love on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is because Mary Cosby is unapologetically herself.
Her season 2 tagline was, "If you come for me, I will send Jesus after you." And I'm like,
It makes great television, let's put it that way. Mary just has an inability to feel what anybody else is going through but herself.
One of the members in our church, one of their daughter, had a crash.
When?
Today, last night. And she was ejected from the sunroof and fell down into a neighborhood. 30 feet, drop off the freeway.
Is she still alive?
No. Wear your seatbelt.
I just watched a clip of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Mary mocking the loss of a life of my loved one, a niece that I had a hand in raising. Like it was a joke. Like it was a joke. Michael is my niece, and she's the daughter of my youngest sibling, Michael. Michael and I were super close. We were buddies. This was the niece that would text you in the morning and say, "Hey, Auntie, I'm thinking about you." She lost her life tragically to an accident. This was a young girl just getting her life started, a mother of 2 children. Michael's baby boy turned 1 year old 3 days after she passed.
I love Michael with her beautiful self. That beautiful girl, she was smart, and she was working on doing things and just trying to get it together. Just like, any other kid her age is.
Can I play you that clip from Housewives?
Nah. And I'm not gonna give her the satisfaction. How'd it make me feel? I was angry. That was an attack on me and my daughter. You have to be one miserable human being to go that low. Oh, well, I guess she should wear a seatbelt. I saw it. Now, that's a pastor? No, sir. Not at all.
It was a very traumatizing moment to watch. Anyone that could speak and joke about anything like that doesn't deserve to pastor anything.
Why are you speaking on my daughter anyway? You didn't send condolences.
These are babies. I watched little London dance around her mom's casket, and not one phone call from Mary. You didn't say nothing.
Fortunately, my daughter's gone. She didn't have to hear it. It's unfortunate for my daughter that she loved Mary and Robert. She loved the church. She kept a doll that Mary bought her when my daughter was a little girl. When I went to clean out her place, she still had that doll.
This would piss me off. This was a child of one of the members of your congregation, and you are talking about it so just like nonchalantly.
When people watch reality TV, it is a form of entertainment, and you're expecting to be entertained. But speaking to these congregation members, it was very sobering. This was not a point of entertainment anymore.
People that knew our family and knew Michael were coming together, and they began to start a GoFundMe.
From what I heard, Mary told her members not to help me. And if you gave anything to the GoFundMe, go and take it back. Blame my daughter to rest, and Mary's being an antagonizer. Where is it at? What's going on? Who did this? Why are you involved? It's disgusting.
What I think Mary's reason is because any money that was not going to come to Mary was going to shorten her bank account. Because why else would you do it?
I know that's what kills me about Mary and Robert. I'm like, what do y'all think that you are actually getting away with? Because you're not. You're doing evil.
She has to live with what she did, and her day is coming. And I don't mean that in a threatening way. I mean that in a way where you reap what you sow.
Hey guys, happy Monday and welcome back. Whew, do we have a lot to talk about? Everyone wants to know about the allegations against Mary's church because many have claimed that it's very cult-like.
Season 2, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, dives specifically into the accusations that Mary is a cult leader. It had gone from social media chatter to something now that her Real Housewives castmates were looking into themselves and hearing firsthand reports about what was happening. So everything came out in real time on screen.
The congregation believes that Mary is God. That is very clear.
Are they worshiping her?
Yes.
So after watching Whitney explain to Meredith Marks that Mary Cosby leads her church by representing herself as God, I find it to be insanity.
Not only does she refer to herself as God, but she also tells members they will be condemned to hell if they don't listen to her. What the Faith Temple Church is going on?
If God ain't in you, you ain't gonna win.
Faith Temple is a Pentecostal church. However, the congregation is treating Mary like God. That is considered blasphemy. No one is equal to God. During a sermon on Housewives, there is a man that gets on his knees in front of her at the altar. You have a woman reading this letter to her.
You are my perfect love. God's love for his people reigns in you. You are the facsimile of God.
You have another congregation member screaming out that Mary's the best friend that she's ever had.
You've been the best friend.
People are crying. It's a very intense moment.
I'll never leave you. I promise. I'll stay with you.
Her church putting her equal to God becomes a real point of concern and gives credence to this accusation that this could be a cult.
Worshiping leaders is a phenomenon that when we hold people up on a pedestal or they have a position like President of the United States, we have the tendency as mere mortals to have awe. We think that they're so special, we forget they're just human and they have a role or they have an office. And then it's made more complicated with spiritual leaders who say, God is speaking to me. It's a very powerful device that's used to manipulate and control people, to get them to do whatever the leader wants. That's the stereotypical cult leader.
Well, there is one God and one mediator between God and man. Who do you think that is? You.
Cameron is one of my very good friends, and he's our connection to Mary.
When Lisa Barlow introduced Cameron on the show, we were all wondering, what is the motive here?
Mary, her husband, they've done some things that have been very harmful. But the truth was revealed, and I knew that I couldn't stay with that truth, and I had to walk away. Something else entirely.
And what was it?
Cameron's not saying exactly everything to Meredith about what happened between him and Mary. He's kind of dancing around it, using vague language to say, be careful.
Just be careful.
He said he had to step away from the church, and he acknowledges that there's harm being done in some way. It's just kind of a question mark of what he really means by that.
I don't like hearing this, because I really love Mary.
I did too at one point. Mary and I were extremely close at one point.
After Cameron says that he and Mary had a very close relationship, it opens up the door for social media to begin rampantly speculating.
There's a rumor going around that she was having an affair with Cameron.
Yes.
Mary Cosby, who cannot escape the allegations, having a boyfriend on the side.
I've heard this rumor for a few weeks now that there was something more intimate going on between her and Cameron.
It intensified. Everyone wanting to find out more.
After Cameron appears on the show, I tried to speak with him as well for my investigation because he seemed to have a lot more answers to Mary in the church. Unfortunately, I learned that Cameron passed away shortly after filming due to complications from surgery because he had a brain tumor. So there still is a lot of mystery around Cameron and what he had to say about Mary.
Who was Cameron Williams? Cameron was a smart guy. He was a man that loved God.
He was a good dude. Had a lot of depth to him. Very ambitious. The week I met him is the week he came to church.
He came to the church to be saved. He had 3 years worth of tithing that he saved looking for a church. So when he found Faith Temple, it was like, man,
He was going hard. He was showing up to services, participating, getting involved. He became extra confident in the church. And I remember thinking man, this dude is walking around here like he's smashing the main lady in the house. I thought that. I remember making that statement. And then he just stopped coming. And I didn't hear from him. I didn't see him. So I asked him, why did you leave the church? He says, if I was to tell you why, you wouldn't believe me or you get upset. I'm like, huh? Now, I'm putting all these pieces together and I'm processing conversations with Cameron, conversations between me and Danny.
Mary Cosby is my first cousin. One day, Cameron had called me. He says, what I'm going to tell you, I'm only telling you because I'm fearing for my life. And if anything happened to him, he wanted his story out.
At the end of the day, like I told you, my goal is to protect my family. I'm trying to make sure I don't go down on her shit. That's why I was calling her. I'm like, okay, that's how I won't allow because I don't even associate with Mary.
So I'm like, okay, go ahead, talk. So then Cameron just started spilling the beans, started opening up and just telling me everything. According to Cameron, Mary went to Cameron's house. Mary started asking Cameron if he'll put on this music. They come sit by each other, and Mary grabs Cameron's hand and starts rubbing her. And according to Cameron, he put his hand in her vagina. And I said, what? And then I said, then what? You know, now I'm inquiring, what happened? What happened? Is that it? And he says, and then we had sex. I asked him, does anybody else know the truth of what you guys been doing? And he told me that, yes, Ernie knows.
I said, what? He said, me and Mary had an affair. I said, this is crazy. What about the ministry? What is going on with that? These people are ministers. They're supposed to be preaching.
We had the affair and all that, but like, that was me being victimized. I had to take therapy for me to get out of that. So, yeah. You just spoke the truth and you were a victim, man. I really believe that. I believe it.
According to Cameron, he was contacted by the Real Housewives of Salt Lake because apparently he and Lisa Barlow were some type of acquaintances. They said, there's this thing going on. They're looking for a woman to do the Real Housewives of Salt Lake. He said, I know one person, and he was referring to Mary. According to Cameron, he calls Mary, and she jumped on it. Oh, I want to do it. Oh, my God, please do this, you know? Please hook me up. I would love to do this. Cameron set Mary up with Real Housewives of Salt Lake, in his own exact words, so that the people can see for themselves who she is and what she's about.
Your understanding from Cameron is that he placed her on Housewives in order to
expose him.
They'll beat you down until they get what they want.
Is that why you mortgaged your house?
Yes, that is exactly why I mortgaged my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They wrap your entire life around a single idea, as though it is the difference between heaven and hell for you.
On the show, Cameron admits that he took a second mortgage out on his home in the amount of $300,000 and gave it to Mary. That was a huge revelation.
He mortgaged his house and gave her 300 grand. Cameron has had extreme religious trauma being a member of her church. I felt it, I cried with him, I believe him.
Do I think it's appropriate for the first lady of the church to have an affair and then have him hand over $300,000? It's more than inappropriate. I've never heard of anything like this before, ever, ever, ever.
Think about somebody like me, no family here, no real friends. I had nothing, and I'm just in this town. And Mary gives me everything.
Most people get involved in mind control cults during situational vulnerabilities. So death of a loved one, breakup in a relationship, moving to a new city, state, or country that makes them off balance. It's a vulnerable moment where cult leaders can pounce.
Look, we were on private jets, going on trips. She was buying me $2,500 shoes. Of course, I didn't pull my head over. I'm like, wow, God's been blessing me.
And they typically want to do a process of love bombing, which is emotional control. Cult leaders will do anything to get power, money, and sex, including telling people the leader is God's agent on earth.
Someone in the church started the prophecy that Mary is God. he felt that everything that he was doing was for God. I'm like, come on, Cameron, are you serious? And he says, no, for real, that's what I thought. Here, this is a highly intelligent individual that worked for Goldman Sachs. How could he be such a fool to believe that Mary is God?
You can call me a fool for believing. You can call me a fool for talking about Mary is God or messing with Mary like that. You know, you could say that, and I understand because I feel like a fool. And I've truly was manipulated in so many ways that I'm embarrassed for myself at this point.
Cameron had actually come to Danny and basically wanted some support because he was scared to death. I mean, scared of this girl? Like, who is she? Like, he was coming to him almost like a safe haven and saying, what should I do? Help me.
When Cameron died, I heard Mary said it was because he lied on her.
People start saying God took him because he was talking about the church.
These are antics they use.
I know the Father, and he comes to me.
Mary Cosby, in the eyes of the Faith Temple Church, she is God. What? That's a church? It's like a dictatorship.
Mary Cosby as a teenager, boy.
She just was all about herself and the men around her that could do something for her.
Robert Cosby had a very heavy influence.
He's a monster.
It started becoming abusive.
Get up, boy, get up, boy, you sis, get up, boy, you sis, get up.
Cults emphasize fear and control.
The more I go down the Mary Cosby rabbit hole, the crazier the story gets.
If we're going to talk about Mary, that means we have to talk about her grandmother, known as Mama.
When Mama passed away, the arena had changed.
Next thing you know, Mary's in my grandpa's house and they're doing God knows what.
Mary and Robert decided they were going to get married.
But that's your granddaughter. And he said, don't worry, God will make it plain to you.
The biggest thing that horrifies me, Mary was married. They had to get rid of him.
Robert and Mary would deal with confessions by public humiliation.
It will come to a head at what's known as the walkout service.
It was out of control. It's Wild West. Everybody's got their 6-shooters out.